We're going to drop down to the losers bracket for the next game and see a couple of guys, well, at least one guy that we have not before. Farms is in the game on the left spawn, taking Aeon. Alleg on the right, taking Cybern. Of course, every single one of these games is random. The map is also Wetlands. So this map is designed to be a 4v4, I believe played top v bottom. And then you can also play 4v4 left v right because it's symmetrical in both directions. When you play it 1v1, you end up separated by a pretty vast distance, and as you can see, there is a substantial amount of tree clumps and a few rocks that you can reclaim, but the biggest story here is holy kashmoles, the amount of mass extractors. Actually, now that I think about it, I think this may be an 8v8 map with pairs, because there's 2 hydros and 6 mass extractors for every single person. Although, looking at the spawn of the ACU, it does appear to be centered between the mass extractors. So I'm going to go with 4v4, my initial understanding. Alright, so Alleg is going first and second land, and has claimed 6 mass extractors and is moving on the second hydro at the beginning. 2 hydros, of course, giving you a huge boost on the amount of things you are able to build. Farms dropping second land, immediately queuing for an additional air factory, and then he's got engineers moving out to the north in order to claim all the other mass extractors. Now, taking for granted that you do need 2 mass extractors per land factory, we can actually get a decent count on how many potential factories they can run, because you've got 6, 12, then 16, 23, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's just call it 30 from here over, not counting the front base, which means 15 land factories, not counting reclaim potential, just from the left side. If you split the map 50-50, it's closer to 50 mass extractors, possibly more. So you're talking 25 to 30 land factories with your amount of reclaim that you're going to be bringing in. So you're potentially looking at the mother of all T1 spams. Of course, you could also tech. That is up to you. There are 2 choke points since the Cybern player is not going to be able to front his units across land. But optimistically, this won't provide Aeon too much of an advantage. I guess they do get 1 extra access point on each side, but it's through the center, so hopefully it'll be fine. Cannot walk up on the 3-mex hill. You do have to drop that. Farms apparently has not played this, and neither has Alleg, so we're getting 2 people who have stumbled upon a new experience, a nice thing to see amongst some of the higher rated ladder players. So Farms is working on 7 land factories and powering through a whole bunch of power generators in the back. Of course, you do have a total of 8 potential hydros if you control half the map. So you could go for T2 just off of hydros if you wanted to, although I don't know why you would, seeing as you probably need even more power to spend all of the mass that you're getting. Farms is going to drop an additional land factory at the front and claim this for his very own. These are going to be the contested spots, I feel like, and on the other side of the map we do have 4 land factories so far, second air in the works, with an additional 3 for a total of 7 on the front line. That leaves Alleg and Farms at about the same level of production, but we are seeing a bit of an early game advantage towards Alleg. He does have more Mantis on hand. Problem is, he has them on the side of the map that is next to the ACU. So we may see quite a few of these die and this expansion get taken regardless, but one way or the other, Alleg is going to be able to slow down his opponent's advance on that side. Farms finishing off the hydro, getting another mass extractor online, and has decided to abandon such things as his transport scouts the Mantis. Oh, heartless son of a gun, why must you go and kill the poor helpless NG? And it's down as his ACU gets sideswiped, run by the Mantis. Those are going to get caught up by a couple of Auroras, but thankfully Auroras are paper, so they will carry on about their merry business, at least until an Aurora from afar starts hammering them. On the northern side, we do have a slight unit count advantage in favor of Alec there as well. So it looks like he is actually going to succeed. Get a full, complete run by through. I don't think he took any losses. Perhaps, yep, one Mantis right there. Lost one Mantis out of the bunch, and he's going to be able to move right on through into the base. However, there's a point events going down, which may or may not finish in time. I'm leaning towards the may side of that discussion. And just in time, with the assistance of the extra engineers, it is going to come online. So Alec is going to just pour all of his helpless Mantis into the face of the point events. He is going to manage to kill a couple more engineers, but the damage is nothing like what it could be. We are going to see one more mass extractor potentially go down before this can be rescued. Farms abusing his transports very hard indeed, getting tanks, engineers, everything else he needs up to the northern edge to put a stop to all of this mayhem. Mantis do so little damage. It is kind of depressing. And here comes the arty shot, and down she goes. All right, a little bit of effective rating there. Farms rocking about 79 income to 81 income as he reclaims his territory. 1,400 reclaim in the bin, as about the same as what Alec has. Alec at 99 income, 1,200 power. So Alec actually out-ecoing Farms for once, and he is going to fall back in the face of that ACU. Going to build those T1 mexes, which I think is a bad idea. Probably a T1 point events would be a better option as more units meet on the northern edge. So Alec has started a gun upgrade. I'm thinking, maybe? Hold on. At his left hand. Wait. That can't be. T2, yes. Okay, sorry. I had my upgrade pattern backwards when I was thinking about the ACU. So he's going to go for T2, probably going to drop a couple Cerberus turrets, maybe attack launcher, and then move towards the other side of the map. Farms getting mass extractors up and transporting engineers in, although look at... nope, he's fine. Okay, that was his own tank. I was about to call that incorrectly. Do have a missing mass extractor over here. I think that probably that raid succeeded in killing off the engineer. Yes, it did. So that is going to have to wait on another NG to come from afar. Farms is getting his expansion a little bit more quickly than Alec is, but Alec is ahead on total economy still. He's also got a very ludicrous amount of air factories, which I'm sure he's paused in order to get this T2 power generator online with his commander. He does not have air control though, simply not able to sustain the build from all those factories with the amount of power that he currently has online. Farms is breaking ahead in that field. He's already finishing his second T2 power generator and going immediately for T3 air. What the crap, man? That is some heavy abuse going on there. In a few ticks of the game, just a couple of minutes, he's actually surpassed his opponent in both power and mass output. Alec trying to get his second generator online. Alec saying, dude, I'm wasting so much mass and stalling so much E. Yeah, that is exactly what it was. A heavy underbuild on power. So he's going to get this second generator up, hopefully fixing his issues. Yes, he is, although he's overflowing 56 mass. Oh, that hurts. The pain, the physical pain. As Farms is dropping the secondary gun upgrade. So this is going to be yet another T2 power generator. Farms probably E-stalling as well. No, he's not. Very delicate balance there as he jumps back up. Looking fine over on Alec's side as well as he builds a torp bomber. Why are you building a torp bomber, good sir? Are you intending to build Corsairs and you have screwed up? I think he was intending to build Corsairs and he has screwed up. Why do I see this mistake so commonly? We had one in the last tournament as well, I think. All right, loads of interceptors going down. We've got Corsairs building out of the T2 factory over here. Perhaps he is actually going to try for a Corsair snipe and then torpedo bomb the commander if it goes into the water. That might be his end plan, and it would actually make a bit more sense considering that he's building torps on a map that is 95% land. Alec finishing off the 3rd power generator. I hope that for his own sake, he is going for a shield over those P-gens, because I guarantee you that this is going to build a Strat Bomber as soon as he gets the power online for it. I would hate to see some hapless fool die to a Strat. We've also got T2 gunships, so he is just building... Oh no, those are... Ah, they're not Corsairs, they're gunships. I sometimes mistake the forms on those. So that's going to be gunships away. He sees that there's no T2, but there is a shield upgrade in progress that is going to finish before he's able to finish this snipe. We've got Corsairs, we've got gunships, we've got supporting air coming in, and all the engineers die. Oh my goodness, this might actually work. What the crap? Looks like loads of damage coming in, canceling the shield in order to dodge. As Mobile Flak comes up to the front, we've got mobile shields moving in as well. Farms down to 2,800 HP as the Renegades continue to pound away on the commander, one after another, dropping to the flak. Of course, you can't dodge the gunship with the AoE, and Farms goes down, knocked out of the tournament by T2 Air Snipe, in a superior position in every single manner. He had more mass, he had more power by a wide margin, he had T3 air, he just didn't have the support next to his ACU. He did a me, guys, he did a me. Well freaking played all. And Farms gets knocked out of the tournament. Alec moves up through the losers bracket for another chance at a slot in the Galaxy Cup finals. Well played to both of these guys. GG indeed. We're going to take another tier in the losers bracket. This time we've got Thomas Hitt versus Alec, who came through by the skin of his teeth in the last game. The map is Comet Catcher. Let me go ahead and control shift. There does not appear to be any reclaim on this map. Actually, that is correct. There is 0. I feel like I've seen it before, but I'm not terribly familiar with it, so let's do a little breakdown. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 mass extractors scattered about in the back. It appears to be like a 5x10 map, maybe, or like a 5x8. It's not... It can't be 5x5. Maybe it is. This is a very weirdly proportioned map. But map control is going to be of the utmost importance, because 100% of your income comes from the land factories, or from the mass extractors, and you have to have map control to maintain the mass extractors. So we'll have to see how well both of these players can compensate for the fairly odd play style required to compete on this map. Alec going double land factory at the open, and Thomas Hitt doing much the same. So it is a fairly symmetrical open. I forgot to say as well, Seraphim versus Cybran matchup. So it should be relatively well balanced as they trade blows on this stage. Jojo, appreciate the sub, man. Thank you very much. I remember a similar map from 0K. I don't know that there was one. I do not know. Okay, so early engagements. Thomas Hitt is sending out a couple of hunters, which are taking, again, a disturbingly long amount of time to get to the other side of the map for it being a 5K, which is one of the reasons why I'm thinking that it might not be. Hunter meets Selen. Hunter will win. Hunter, or lab to Selen, is as lab to tank. It's kind of like a 2-to-1 ratio if you're going to have a fair fight on a mass-to-mass and whatever ratio. But this Hunter is going to be left free to kill off one of the T1 engineers on that side, shutting down a rather critical expansion point. We do have a tank coming out in pursuit, but that lab is going to get away scot-free, running towards the back of the base. Of course, he is going to swing the tank to assist the engineer. Now, seeing where that lab is, he will probably be able to move. Okay, so what on earth is this? You do not have the mass for that, friend. Thomas, why? He's got 15 mass per tick so far. Maybe he does. Rowie says this is a 10K map with 100 bits. Appreciate that, man. All right. So, I don't think that he's ever going to be able to run that many, but more power to him if he can. I mean, if you have the extra land factories, we've talked about this before. The extra land factories give you the capacity and build power to spend everything you're reclaiming. So if you have two people that get into a fight and one person has one more factory than the other, if the first engagement ends in roughly a tie and both of the guys are getting reclaim, the guy with one more factory will win, because he's going to be able to get more units out more quickly, even though his standard income cannot support that amount of build power. So overbuilding by 10%, 15%, a good thing. This level of overbuild, I don't know about that. So we've got some power coming down in the back. As far as our mass extractor total goes, we got 5, 10, 12, maybe 16 mass extractors at 50% map control. So even then, you're looking at like 8 factories you can run. It's not that much. Funny thing about labs, although that is a mantis, my friends, moving up through to finish off what that lab started at the beginning. Labs have close to the same damage as a tank. They just have half the HP and cost about half as much. I think they also have a shorter range, possibly. I don't remember exactly how the stats match up with each other, but basically you build 2 labs and you have a tank for yourself. But tanks with the little bit beefier amount of HP that they have will fare better in a straight up fight than labs will. So once you start getting clumps of units, the labs are pretty much useless. Looks like we have a Selin standing on top of a mass extractor, preventing the build. If you're ever trying to build a mass extractor and you can't figure out why it's not working, then you pretty much just need to walk your ACU over or try to bump the Selin off the map extractor, because this cloaked unit can just stand there and prevent you building till Kingdom Come. Kind of a hilarious tool. It's also providing free intel, so yeah, a good thing to have on the other side. T1 bomber coming in, not even going to get a chance to drop, instantly get shot out of the sky by Alig, who is doing a reasonably good job on trying to catch up to the expansion, but he is just getting raided to pieces by Thomas Hiet, who has also killed off another mass extractor in the rear, is working on number 3, as we've got more engineers on the outside edges being threatened. There were a couple over here that got killed by that tank. Thomas Hiet overall ahead, 260 power, 25 income, 216 and 259. Thomas Hiet spending more income on aggression, and Alig doing more to expand. And overall, they're pretty much evenly counterbalancing each other. We've got so many scattered units, none of the clumps that we tend to see in Supreme Commander, where, oh dear, that is going to be a captured point there, and mass extractor down, and another tank moving in to snatch away Thomas's oh so valuable mass extractors. So usually when you're playing Supreme Commander, you see, oh, there's a couple choke points, you see units stack up everywhere, you see things kind of stagnate. Not on this map. There are way too many access points. There is so many different mass extractors that are all relatively unprotected. You just gotta scatter out in there and hope for the best. You can see single mantis moving off to carry out their tasks are going to be quite successful indeed. We've got more power generators going down, prepping for an additional air factory, so we're gonna see doubled up air on that. And then we have Thomas Hiet still operating on the singular air factory, which is going straight interceptors, it would appear. No T2, no additional things going on for anybody just yet. It's kind of just a cacophony of units clashing in the middle of the map. And hopefully that will be all the C words that these contestants will be submitted to this day. We do have, this is an interesting formation over here, because that seems like a death trap to me for an ACU. You get your ACU in the middle of it, a group of units hits each side, you get pincered, and boom, you're dead before you know what happened. Might also be a good spot for a point defense, since they will be coming in these very concentrated areas. I don't know. For now, though, Alig does take a slight advantage. One mass extractor, 31 to 29, and we've got basically even stuff all the way around. One thing I'm not entirely sure about, Thomas is rather overextended, and there's a lot of units in the middle of the map. Let's actually get a count. This may be a straight up death to spam. We have 39 tanks. Let me go right around the ACU. Center of the map. 31 tanks versus 12. That is not a good sign when you also have the enemy ACU on you. And I think that Thomas might be in for a very rude awakening indeed. If by some miracle he is able to survive this, he is going to have all of his tanks around and might be able to at least force a draw. The ACU currently is damaging his own commander, which is going to prevent him from killing off the Mantis efficiently, but Thomas just cannot get enough tanks around him to save himself. That's going to be 2,000 HP remaining as he desperately struggles to clog the pathfinding of that enemy ACU, and a success getting away at around 1,000 HP. So that is the first major slip up that we see here. Problem being, that is going to leave Alec with a hell of a reclaim field on his side of the map, which his engineers are already gleefully scooping and converting into units. This is going to spell a later doom for Thomas if he doesn't do something to get that mass. We've got 658 mass income from reclaim versus 371 already doubled, and then we've got all of this additional mass, about 600 to 800 total mass lying in the middle, just waiting to be gobbled up. Very, very nice slip there from Thomas. That was escape artist level bull, and he is now taking Lobo fire. Not Lobo, Zooey, sorry. As, yep, that Zooey is going to prevent him from having any chance of dropping an upgrade. Stealth would be a good option right now because that would prevent him from getting hit quite as hard by certain groups of units. And a gun upgrade would definitely help him out, make him a little bit more survivable. Unfortunately, the Cybern ACU simply does not have the survivability upgrades that the other commanders do. At the unupgraded phase, the Cybern commander is superior due to its substantially greater level of regen than the other commanders have. Right now, he's just trying to strip away as much health as possible from that ACU to force it out of the fight. And then he's going to be able to clean up the units on this edge, potentially allowing him to get his own reclaim field. He was going to try to come in with Jesters, but unfortunately underestimated the amount of air that Alec had at his disposal. And that is going to be a bad time indeed. Sorry guys, I forgot to set up the betting. I will remember next time around. So T1 point defense going down, not terribly useful in the face of 50% Zooey spam, but it will at least serve to slow his opponent. Again, the gun upgrade and perhaps stealth I think would be his best bet, but he's going to continue falling away from the front line as Alec clears 2k reclaim. Power stalling though as he struggles to spend it. We've got 700 reclaim on the other side with much more beautiful mass balance. Looks like Thomas actually has superior power income. He may be in a position to try... Oh no, what are you doing? He just placed a move order directly in. Please no. Okay, so there is the tanks. He may be trying for a draw. He's going to try and swarm the ACU again. This is going to result in further loss of Mantis as he just shift G's directly into the ACU, driving it away. And then he's going to try to move in. Now you can see how much more useful the regen is on the Cybern Commander. Without a veterancy, he's matching the Seraphim with a vet for regen and staying at roughly the same HP level. So this is now an equal footing engagement, but both ACUs are shredding their opponent's tanks instead of directly engaging with each other. So this is going to cause a bit of an issue. Thomas able to claim part of the reclaim field though. He is not going to be able to sit still and suck it up for very long at all. There are artillery in the mix over here. He may be in for an issue. He is going to grab a few wrecks, hit up Allig once again. Do we have any mass extractor upgrades? We do not on this side. We do not on this side either. So neither player daring to get a T2 mass extractor upgrade, although we do have a single raiding tank that managed to kill 2 mass extractors across the back, as Thomas is all consumed with his micro on the front edge, dancing with death in the most real kind of way. There are so many tanks right there, but Allig cannot afford to sacrifice his superior unit count due to the fact that he has lower HP overall. That's going to leave Thomas to recover this mass field and do quite a bit of good for himself eco-wise. I'm just not sure whether he can get back on his feet quickly enough. If we take another look at the unit count, we've got 54 Mantis total versus 73 Thams. That is brutal. If he'd been able to get the gun upgrade, this would be an even toe fight. But without that gun, he is in a dangerously precarious position. One misstep with the ACU and he will get swarmed and killed. And that is going to be the gun upgrade started on Allig's ACU. Now, oh dear, oh dear. 2,400 HP remaining as those Zooies take a terrible toll. But a veterancy is going to go a long ways towards regenning that ACU. This is the advantage and the disadvantage of the T1 artillery summed up in one motion. Because while they are extremely good at hitting hard, they are very bad at hitting moving, dodging targets. Looks like Thomas is overextending into the enemy units. 2,000 HP, 1,200, walking in a straight line. No, and bring up the units to save yourself, Sonny. That's almost to another veterancy. He needs 2 more kills. There it is. 4,000 HP again on the commander with 3 veterancy, 2 ahead of his opponent, but that gun is at 84% now. He is not going to be able to stand up to that ACU, although he is making a very fine push indeed on the right side. His opponent has superior map control, superior unit count, and a whole lot of reclaim to stave it all up with. We take a look at the total income: 6,000 reclaim versus 1,400 reclaim, 45 mass protected, 29 with 880 power, and the gun upgrade on the ACU. There is no way in hell that Thomas is bringing this one back. That is just going to be the slow, agonizing defeat of trying to tie in order to force a new game. Thomas actually does have the ability to tie here if he swarms the ACU and then control Ks. He needs to get his units back in, though. He's withdrawing too far. He lost his chance. That ACU is going to back up. If he had been able to push right there, he could have forced a draw and gotten a rematch. But he is going to do quite a bit of damage across the back end here, killing off a couple more mass extractors. Allig so far has not fired a shot, so Thomas may not know what upgrades are on that ACU as he strives to get more overcharges in, further reducing the number of units that he has to go up against as he tries to recover on the right-hand side, losing another mass extractor that he really cannot afford to, and leaving his ACU dangerously exposed. This is, once again, a dance with death as he just continues to play one wrong move from oblivion. There's the gun. He knows that there's a gun upgrade on that ACU now and is immediately falling back. He's going to bring all of his engineers, not his engineers, all of his tanks into the center to try for that mutual KO, diving in on the ACU. I don't think he's going to make it. Another veterancy brings that up to 8,000 HP, but he does have 8,000 on his own ACU, so it's still possible. Feinting and pushing, trying to fake the other player out into a bad positioning with the units. If we take a look at the total numbers once again, that's going to be about 123 tanks versus 69 and 10 Medusas. But now we have the full push from both forces as Thomas strives to damage that ACU enough for the mutual, but he is going to fall back. Plant an overcharge, plant an overcharge. Nope. That is going to be the end of Thomas Hit. He does not have anywhere near enough tanks to front this. He may be able to get in another overcharge, but even if he survives the tank, that relentless ACU is going to damage him from afar, not taking a single blow in return. Thomas Hit throwing out the GG and disconnecting. Outplayed at the end. That is a different kind of map. You cannot lean on reclaim to shore yourself up. You have to be able to play with maximal efficiency, both with careful micro at the beginning to raid as much as possible and to use your tanks to their greatest possible effect through the entire game while maintaining reclaim. That ended up being a 17-minute struggle at the T1 phase, desperately trying to claw enough of a hold onto the map in order to shift to either another phase or an upgrade. Allig ended up on top. Well played to both of these guys. Allig advancing through the tournament, and Thomas, unfortunately, being eliminated. That is going to wrap everything up for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like and share it with someone. If you want to support the channel, catch the streams, or join the Discord, check out the links in the description. Thank you all for being at least partially insane, and I will see you in the next one.